Happy Black Friday to you, my friends. I'm Zach Rasinger. This is CRE Pro. This is all about land acquisition. I'm here to help you and I'm here to provide value. That should be the ultimate goal every time, is to provide value. And we're here to do that today. We're in Central Texas, Austin, Texas, to be exact. But it exists for everywhere in the country. It's an open forum, so it's LinkedIn Live. Enter in your questions. I can see them running down the side here. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on LinkedIn Live. So if you're on the live, give me a shout out. What you're up to today, what your Black Friday plans are today, and tell me a little bit more about what you're looking to learn from this LinkedIn Live. Now, one of the great things about LinkedIn Live, again, is that it's completely live. So if you have a land deal that you'd like to put out there, if you have a listing that you're working on, and oh, by the way, we have a new addition here to the LinkedIn Live session. Not only are we going to go through a few of the traditional, like looking at some sites where where I'm looking right now for a property and how we go about acquiring that property on market, off market. Those properties that haven't sold for a while, need a price adjustment. And just remember this, right? Even though we're in a tough economic cycle in terms of interest rates, that's a great opportunity to sell more property, to get more listings, to go in to listings that have not sold for a while and find out why are they not selling, and then make an offer on those listings. So oftentimes we're finding right now, particularly with listings that have been out on the market for 3-6 months, let's say, those have sat stale. Owners are getting pissed off. They want to know, why is my property not selling? Well, your main goal as an investor is to find properties that are undervalued or where you can make money on the buy, or as a broker to list properties at market value. And today's market value is not yesterday's, is not the day before, and it's definitely not 3 months ago, 6 months ago. So dive deep into those properties, whether the comps are from yesterday or from last week or from last month, valid. If they're not, if they're from 6 months ago, just realize that there's a factor in there with the interest rates that's going to bring the desire down for the property. It's also going to bring the valuation down, which correspond to each other. But I'm going to jump in here to show you guys. We have a new listing, which is cool. Oh yeah, by the way, we have a new addition to the team. Maybe. All right. The new listing siren. New listing. Whoop, whoop, whoop. New listing. So we have a new listing on. It's a pretty great one. I'll turn that off in a second. I know it's really annoying. So let me show you here. So new listing alert. New listing alert. We have Mooney's. So right now, just 2 days ago, listed Mooney's Burgers. It's located in Marble Falls, beautiful Marble Falls, Texas. And this is a great opportunity for somebody. It's a dark restaurant, so it's about 5,600 square feet. It's located on 0.7117 acres. It's directly on 281. It's a great package here. I'm showing you the inside look for LoopNet. So this is what a listing broker is able to, how they're able to present their property on LoopNet. And so I'm showing you the back end of this. And we can see here, if you want more information about this listing, you can go to LoopNet. You can see 5,687 square feet here. It's a dark restaurant. So if you know of a restaurant group, somebody who wants to expand into Marble Falls, I can tell you this is at an extreme sale price. It's not going to list very long. Here's the caveat. Needs to close by the end of the year. So for tax purposes, needs to close by the end of the year. As an investor, as a broker, you should be hearing that saying, okay, there's a pressure on here. There's a reason that we need to come in and be able to close by the end of the year. As you all know, one of the things that to close by the end of the year, let me show you here. Turn screen on. Okay, so we're looking at the back end of CoStar here and LoopNet. And I'm going to show you what that looks like for this listing. So this is the back end. This is what you would see if you were listing the property. And then let me show you what that looks like when you click on this here. So LoopNet listing here. We'll go ahead and throw this into the stream so you can see what that looks like. Again, switch this out and drop in the screen. Boom. And here we go. Moonies. All right. So again, 5687 square feet. We're located in Marble Falls. Marble Falls is like 60 minutes, less than 60 minutes from Austin, Texas. Great location. The offering memorandum is here. So one of the keys and what we teach in the CRE Pro course, again, this is sponsored by CRE Pro course. And you may see in the notes on the side, we have a 50% off sale today for Black Friday. 50% off. It only works with that code, or it only works with that URL in the sidebar. So, or in the notes. So use that link in order to get 50% off today only on the CRE Pro course. Here's Mooney's. We're looking at Mooney's here, and we can see a restaurant, dark restaurant, and we're looking at here highlights, and then you can access the the taxes. Obviously, taxes are $28,000, I believe, a year, and that's just based on appraised value. The appraised value, just so you know, so this is listing at the CAD value. So when we're talking about pricing, usually it's the valuation the government puts on it for taxes, and then there's a premium on top of that. Well, not here, my friends. This property in particular. Again, if you can close by the end of the year, you can get a steal of a deal on this one. So if you have questions about Mooney's, check out the offering memorandum located here. We have a compass link here for our website and landing page. The offering memorandum is there, or you can just drop into the data room here, and you can find out more about it. This is a steal of a deal. It is really, you can see in the aerial here, really good ingress, egress on 281. So if you have any questions on that, you'll see a link in the sidebar specifically about that. If you have properties you'd like to learn more about, I can go through those live here on the LinkedIn Live, the YouTube Live, and the Facebook Live. So let's take a look here. I'm going to drop off the Mooney's. You can see I'll put the link for the Mooney's property in the notes as well. So if you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me directly. Cell phone, new digits, baby, new digits. 512-949-1418. Again, that's 512-949-1418. Local number here in Austin, Texas. Yeah, that was a kind of a pain to get through that. So I hope that you, if you ever have to change a phone number and you've gone through that process, it was difficult. But now the number 512-949-1418. So Mooney's available for sale. I'm going to put the link for Mooney's in the sidebar and the notes so that you can learn more about it if you like, or reach out to me directly on the cell or on the email or any way you like, and learn more about the listing. Again, steal of a deal. I just listed it 2 days ago publicly. So like, share, subscribe, and send this listing out. If you know anybody that's interested in it, we're paying full boat commission, guys. So if you're a listing agent out there, if you're a buyer's rep, reach out and let's get this one under contract. It needs to close by the end of the year. So in most cases, that's going to be a cash deal. Reason I say that, and you may know this, by following the show and being part of the CRE Pro course, if you're part of the crew, this is especially for you. If you want to get your buyer in and close by the end of the year, you want to close your first deal and you sign up for the CRE Pro course 50% off with Black Friday, this is a great opportunity. You close a deal in 40 days. Less than 40 days. You'll close your first deal in the 39 days, 36 days. I'm all about the math guy here. So jump in if you haven't already learned about CRE Pro course. You'll see the link for the 50% off in the notes. Check that out. As you know, I always like to promote what I'm reading, what I'm doing, and hopefully this will help you in your life. I'm going to promote a book that I've read multiple times and I just picked up again today. What I bought last week. This is Aubrey Marcus's Own the Day. You guys should all own your day. He's awesome. We got Miss Two Jits on the back. But Aubrey Marcus is a badass. And if you haven't read this book already, I'll put a link to it as well. But this guy is awesome. And he's just showing you how to do the life hacks. So if you have If you have a book that you would recommend reading, and as you all know, I I I I pencil destroy all books that I have. Make sure I catch the notes, learn the reading, take the notes, and then meditate on some of the life lessons that I learned inside these books. So with that, like, let's just jump in. I want to show you a few things, a few tools that I'm using now, using today in order to optimize my search and then my outbounding. And with that, we'll jump into first link here. So if you are a real estate agent and you have access to the MLS, I'll show you what that looks like on the inside of the MLS. But if you don't, even if you don't have the MLS, things like Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, all of those will provide you with the same information. And if you want to go direct to the owner, you can. If you want to go direct to the agent, you can do that too. If there's an agreement in place and they have it listed, and they probably do if it's up on the MLS, then you should go to the agent and contact them directly. Also, agents have like a spoken code between us. We're all trying to do deals. We know what the ZOPA is, as you may know from the course, the CRE Pro Course. That's the zone of possible agreement, meaning that there is a bottom number and a top number. Typically, the offer is going to come in at the bottom, and then the seller will want to go at the top of the ZOPA, the highest price. They want to get the best for it. And as a listing agent, you want to get them as much as you can. And as a buyer's rep, you want to get that price down to something that's affordable. There's a difference in between affordability in commercial and in residential. In commercial, it's just numbers. So we go based on the cap rate. Cap rate is the NOI, so how much money the property brings in when you're talking about just the operating income that's coming in directly off of rents. We're taking away all the other auxiliary parts of that, right? Taxes and insurance and all that. So just what's coming in off the triple net lease or rents per annum divided by the price. And in today's market, we're looking somewhere at 8, 9, 10%. If it's an aggressive buy, you're looking probably higher, right? You want to get the higher cap rate for your seller. But if you're looking, and if you're looking for a steal of a deal, look for those cap rates that fit the business model of the business that will be operating in there. So as we were talking about the dark restaurant, for example, you need to make sure that the rents are going to cover at least the mortgage in a lot of cases. And remember, mortgages in commercial are probably 8 or around the 8-9%, maybe a little bit higher, depending on how they're getting the money. Or if it's a 1031 or cash deal. Now, finding somebody with $1.6-ish million in cash is a struggle, but very possible. And if for the right deal, owners like our seller are willing to negotiate. So I want to show you here. This is what ABOR looks like. This is what you would see if you're working in Austin, Texas, or in Central Texas. And here is how you find owners of properties. Here's how you find the listing agents, and here's what's available. This is the way that I do it. This is the way that I navigate, and I spend a lot of time doing this every day, all the time. It's my job, or one of them, to know what prices to put on what properties, whether I'm listing them or not. Typically, that's called underwriting. So what underwriting is looking at a property and saying, okay, here's what it might be listed at today. Why is it selling or not selling? What is the right pricing that I would put on it as an investor, or as a broker, or as an agent? How would I price this property if it was my listing? Now you can see here, not active market today. We've got 0 new listings on right now in the entire market. So 0 things have listed today. But if we're going to go in and look at something now, maybe we just go, if you want to learn a little bit more about how we put pricing on something like the Mooney's property, here's how we do it. So we're looking here inside the MLS. We're looking at the general. So I want to look at everything that is either for sale, has closed, any of these: active, pending, closed, hold, withheld. So I'm going to turn on all of these to give us a better idea, so we can start to underwrite a property here. I do it in the last 90 days. It defaults to 90 days, but I do it in the last 90 days because if it's prior to that, it might not apply based on interest rates. So, or just general market conditions. Sometimes you have a hard time finding something that is what the inside looks like. sometimes you have a hard time finding something that will equate. And so you have to expand your closed date. You have to expand your options. But for right now, let's just keep it here on the MLS. We're looking at, show you here. So I'm going to, again, do this. I'm going to go Marble Falls. Marble Falls again, pretty close to Austin, Texas. It's far enough away. You'll learn this or know this. It's far enough away that makes it kind of a pain to drive out there every day, make the commute. But also it's a beautiful place. So it's a great place for a second option, a second office. It's a great place for a lake home. It's a great place for restaurants. Growing community. You'll see all about that in the offering memorandum. But let's do a 3-mile circumference search from the city of Marble Falls, the epicenter of Marble Falls. There's 3 tabs along the top here. This is the map, and this will be the results. We'll see what's happening. So we can see here, before we click on anything, we've got 124 matches for everything that is any of these options. So let's drill down into maybe commercial, because that's what we're looking at primarily. We're not looking at land value yet, which we should. What we're looking at is what commercial properties are for sale or have sold in the area. Again, MLS not the greatest source for commercial listings, but it is a great indication, particularly for those we would call resimercial, those that are trying both residential and commercial, or are spanning between either. They'll sell homes, they'll sell lake properties, they'll sell restaurants, they'll lease properties, and so on. So they're sort of a full boat, full offering. If we look at the map here, we can see indicated here, the green ones are live and active. The red ones here are closed already. And so if we look at this one here, we can drill into the listing. Okay, good. It's following us here. So it's closed here at 195, and then we can see how long it was listed for when it closed. So less than 30 days ago. Great. It was on the market for a while, as you can see. It went pending, and then it took a while to close. So you got to think like, okay, what's the issue there? What happened? And then we can just look through. You check out what the remarks are. I find that it's better to fully explain about the property. Typically, we put the offering memorandum together and then send that out to REITs, investors, everybody we know inside of our CRM that is an active buyer of a property like this. Let me see here if we got, okay. So we've got people asking about what, how you value or how you evaluate properties. Okay, so I'll show you here. If we're looking again at the map section here, out of those 12 listings, we can see what else. And the nice thing is like a nice rollover feature. So we'll see a lot of these, like the land listing here that's listed as Spencer Collins has this, I believe. It's all of this land right here, $1.2 million. It's been out there for a while. Restaurant here, we're looking at $3.85 million for Margarita's restaurant. I know this because I dive into this stuff when I'm about to list something, or if I'm going for a listing presentation. If you're a listing broker, or if you're trying to get a listing, or you're trying to buy a property, it's I believe our job and commitment to understand why these are trading, for where they're trading, have traded, and are listed, and if they're sitting out there for a while, why that is. If we look at this, Margaritas here active, listed 825. So we're saying, like, why is this not sold 91 days? I think it's actually been on the market for longer than this. So why hasn't this sold? And then check out who the listing agents are. Do you know them? Have you worked with them before? Again, we're all in this together. So if you have a client that's actively looking for a restaurant, and you want to look at mine and decide that Mooney's is not the right spot for you, but maybe you're looking for a Mexican restaurant with 60 parking spaces, this is a great opportunity as well. You can turn these, right? So if you're working with both buyers and sellers, you should be keeping your eyes open. Someone calls you about, for example, the Mooney's restaurant and says, I need something with more parking. Boom. Then you're asking them, next questions are you represented? If not, or if you are, and you want to work with a listing agent, do a co-brokerage agreement, you can provide a lot of value, make their job really easy. So if we're looking at here, this is just the MLS. Good opportunity to check out what's available, what maybe didn't hit LoopNet. But the better one, right, is to go over to LoopNet. I'll show you what that looks like here. we're talking again completely listed properties. So if you're looking for a property that if you're looking for land or any property, really commercial property, and you want to reach out directly to the owner of that property, I find there's a few ways to do that. So again, we can use the I'll flip the MLS back on here. You can use the MLS in order to find the owners of property. So if it's not listed, or let's just say hypothetically again, turn this on here. So hypothetically, you've got a buyer that says, "Hey, I'm looking for a retail spot. Restaurant's not going to work for me. What else do you have, Zach? What else is out there right now?" You can see what's on the market, but then you can also see, if we drill in here, we can see the owners of these properties. So maybe they want, I think this is a bank here. If they want a bank, this is municipal property. If you want to, here we go. So you can see that Bambi and Jay, or Bambi and Bobby, own this property here, and you can drill into it, seeing the taxes, the tax rate here. You can find out who the owners are. And the other way to do that I really love. Now, I don't recommend a lot of subscription services, because I think that most of this information can be found by finding out who the owner is, then tracking down the owner. But if you can't find the owner, or if the owner is in an LLC, for example, one of the great ways to navigate inside of any sort of platform, I guess, is through Reonomy. So Reonomy is one of those few sites that I would suggest that is worth paying for. So if you don't have a Reonomy license, I would suggest getting one. Let's see if this one is open here. So Reonomy, again, it'll allow you to drill down, and let's flip this over to Reonomy. So use the MLS if you have it. If you don't have the MLS, check into some other things like LoopNet or Reonomy, and you can drill down further. Reonomy here, so you can drill down into who owns the property, how to contact them, what their phone number is, all of that. So Reonomy is, I don't think it's that expensive, and it's a great opportunity to find the phone numbers and the email addresses of the people who own the property. So if we were trying to find Bambi's email address, it will have the email and phone number for Reonomy here. We teach about all this in the CRE Pro course, by the way. So if we're looking again at the various sources to find more listings, Reonomy is here. So if we're looking at more sources, turn on the chat on the side again, chat overlay. I'll drop the link for the Kajabi offer for the CRE Pro course, offered at, again, the Black Friday sale. Not on for very long, but it's here for you if you. Let's see how this goes. If you, there we go, nice. Boom. Hitting you up on the side here. I wonder if it's clickable. If it's clickable, let me know. Be interested to know more about that. Okay, so a few other sources that I'd suggest to use are, let's see, let me show you. Again, let's go duct tape style, and we'll move up progressively in cost from duct tape at this is a good one. This is an oldie but a goodie. Which of the agents out there have ever used this, or investors have ever used this site? Craigslist.com. Bet you didn't know it still existed. It does. We've got a lot of double wides for sale today. These are land by owner, so these are great to make an offer on a property that, look here, $30,000 for sale, Corpus Christi. You want to place in Corpus Christi? I got the spot for you. Phone numbers here, private lake access. If you're looking for a spot, write an offer. Write an offer at $10,000, $20,000. Who cares? If it gets accepted, great. If it doesn't, if it gets countered, okay. So then now you're in control. So a lot of this business is about who's in control, who's managing the transaction. There's a lot of philosophies on different philosophies, and I know that Mike Lipsy, who's one of my favorite trainers of all time, a little bit expensive, but trainers of all time, he says make the first offer, and I agree with that. Make the first offer, make a low offer, um, base your Zopa. Remember where you want to invest or where you want to buy, where your trigger is. Make your Zopa fit for your model. Um, so Craigslist, kind of duct taping it. But if you really want to get into it and you have a target area that you're searching that your client wants you to look into, or like we've gone through before, Williamson County, Taylor Hutto, Manor. Manor's in a Bastrop County, I think, but or Travis County. If you're looking for any of those areas, you can really dial in by the site. And if we look at here, we'll just check out a LoopNet listing. Again, I've shown you the LoopNet listing already for the CRE Pro or the Moonies. But if we're looking at, let's just say we'll jump in here and I'll show you guys how I would use LoopNet for free. There's two ways to use LoopNet. First way to use LoopNet is as a consumer, let's say, and that consumer is somebody who's looking for properties, knows the general area. I'll back out of this. We'll go directly to LoopNet, flatten LoopNet, and enter in a location. So if let's just check out, let's just stay on Marble Falls. I believe that I am the number one producing commercial real estate agent in Marble Falls for industrial warehouse. I've got a bunch of sales that have happened this year. Thanks to God. Thank you very much. And thank you for all the buyers and more so the owners to entrust me on listing the property. So this is what we're looking at here on LoopNet. We're going to drill down into this. You should see, I will remove the boundary and I'll drop it on aerial. So we should see, boom, Mooney's on the right-hand side there. We can also see Spencer's property. Remember, we looked at this one as well. We can see what that's listing for, $1.3 million for land. Pretty good deal, almost 15 acres of land. It's got a bunch of flood loss on it, which you'll dive into your flood loss maps, and you can see that there's a bunch of flood loss on it. But if we're looking at this here, CVS, this is listed by Dino and his partner Danny at in Encore. Shout out to my buddy Dan Lukowitz, Encore, best broker, best triple net broker. These guys are great, but I've got an affinity to my buddy Dan. Dan Lukowitz, the co-creator of the CRE Pro Course. So yeah, if we're looking at this, this is a portfolio sale. So they're selling Walgreens, CVS, and these are located in Marble Falls and in Corpus Christi. So again, Corpus Christi hot right now. So if I should flip over to the page for them. If you're looking to learn more just about what a listing entails, what kind of underwriting a team does, and what that looks like, again, underwrite more often than not. I told a friend of mine, Jason Laurent, the other day at the Society of Exchange Counselors meeting in Destin, Florida. Shout out SEC 1031. I told him, one of the best ways to learn about what the underwriting looks like for a cash producing business like you're looking at here in the CVS Walgreens is to underwrite the property. Now you can look at the full website here. Encore has set up a full website, but they also talk about the price per square foot. You can do the calculations for cap rate here. See if it's a good purchase. It's something that your client or you would want to invest in. And Walgreens and CVS, pretty safe investments. If you have either of these properties or types of these properties, drop a note in the sidebar there. I'd love to learn more about what you're working on and how I can help, how I can provide value. So let's take a look here. Outside of the CVS property, this is how I would do it on LoopNet. This is what I would look at. Now, we've got a few other sites that I like to highlight. The next one is CRE. So CRE will provide some alternatives, and here's why. So if we're looking at LoopNet here, I want to show you what I see on the back end for LoopNet. This is I pay for my listings to be presented on their site, as you just saw. These are the other listings I have on now, but this is Mooney's, and as you can see, it's silver, so that means we're paying to have it hosted. In my opinion, there's no better way to get a property in front of more people other than emailing it directly to them, then have them come to LoopNet. So LoopNet's has a lion's share of the traffic. Make sure you confirm it up to date. And so yeah, I would suggest LoopNet. So if this is the back end for LoopNet. This is how we advertise through LoopNet and get it into the and right here we have 13,000 views on this property right here. So and it's silver as well. So we're putting it out there. If you looked at Taylor, you'd be able to see that this property is being listed right now. So yeah, so LoopNet, great for advertising, but costs money. If we're talking about things that don't cost money, and initially, and you want to find a good way to advertise your property, I would suggest or recommend Crexi. So Crexi is Crexi and My E-Listing. So this one, you have the ability to post the listing on Crexi, and then they charge you to connect you to buyers and sellers that are looking for your property. So if they click on your property, then you're going to have to pay to connect to the right people. So let's turn this back on for Crexi. So this is what Crexi looks like. I suggest Crexi just get a familiarization of what it looks like, and then what other properties are available on the internet for your area where you're trying to do more deals. The next one I would suggest that I really like that's completely free is My E-Listing. My buddy Caleb Richter over there in Georgetown has My E-Listing. Is his site, and it's sort of like LoopNet or CoStar or Crexi, except for it's paid for by the sidebar ads, right? It's like old school methodology of charging per click on the advertisers running on the sidebar. Great idea of applying different forms of advertising and different forms of income and revenue generation. And they have a pretty robust agent directory. They also do Bitcoin transactions, which is, I think, forward and progressive. So if you haven't checked out My E-Listing, it looks like this and this. And it's navigated much the same way. I believe it's user generated information. So if we're looking at, again, let's go to Marble Falls. Keep it consistent. See how consistent they are. All property types for sale. Spencer continues to do well right there at the top. So yeah, adding more property, getting more exposure, particularly when it's free. With something like this, always seems like a good idea. If you have, now here's a CRE Pro tip. If you have a document that shows that you can keep amongst your team, usually a spreadsheet that shows where the LoopNet listing, CoStar listing, where the Crexi, My E-Listing, let's just say MLS listing, Craigslist listing, any of that stuff, then it makes it pretty easy to update and change. Should you change your price, increase, decrease, add new documents, all of that, you know where those things are. So staying organized in this business is huge. We teach all of that. We have the templates for all of that inside of the CRE Pro course. 50% sale today. If you have more questions, right? If you have a property you'd like to dive into, if you have questions about how to get in front of more buyers and sellers, what leading what they would call heavy hitter brokers are using right now, those that are just crushing. In commercial fishing, we call it highliners. Those that are producing over a certain level are highliners. So if you're looking for highliners, reach out to me. Happy to provide any insight. I do this completely for free. We'll help you with valuation. And if you're part of the CRE Pro course community, reach out and connect with other members that are also part of the CRE Pro course. There's nothing better in my mind to learn how commercial real estate agents and brokers can close more deals faster than the CRE Pro course. And today it's available for 50% off. So click on the link on the side on the wherever down below. Like, subscribe, and share this. I love all of you guys. Thank you very much. Happy Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving. And we look forward to a great holiday season.